Finally, though we will spend much more time on this skill at fall training, the last way you might be interacting with your advisees over the summer is in one-on-one interactions. Likely over the summer, these will not be full-blown advising sessions, but more one-on-one exchanges via email, text, some other written form. That's still an important space to be thinking about how to facilitate conversations, how to lead and direct them in directions that are both useful for you, and how to make sure you're engaging in a way that helps first-year students feel excited about and welcomed to the Agnes Scott community. The basic phases of a one-on-one advising conversation are as follows. 1. You want to build rapport. This is the part of the conversation where you make small talk, ask questions about a student's hobbies, interests, dreams, and goals. You might share pet photos or talk about favorite colors. Share about yourself, too. This helps the students feel like you know them, you see them, you care about them. It also builds the trust that is necessary for them to share personal information with you in the later phases of the conversation. If a conversation stays only here, in this small talk and the getting to know you, that might be okay in a summer email exchange, but most of the time staying at small talk isn't doing quite enough to help a student really make progress. The second phase of an advising conversation is where you begin to gather evidence and actively problem solve with the student. Here's where we begin to get more into the meat of the problem. So here we're asking things like, what are they concerned about or struggling with? What are they actively working on right now? What can you help them with? Ask a lot of good questions, including things like what kind of help they need, what have they already tried, what background do they bring to this situation. Over the summer, this might be helping them understand the course scheduling procedure. Asking what they already know saves everyone time. Don't spend a lot of time explaining Ask Agnes if they've already looked at what courses are available there, you know? It might also be allaying their fears about some aspects of campus life. Understanding where those fears comes from helps you and them articulate more carefully their worries. This leads us to the final phase, 3. Motivate. Again, you're not there to give advice, per se, but to help them see a path forward and motivate them to take action. You might simply be reframing their fears as normal. There might not be an action needed, right? It's okay to be scared of college. You might be offering some insight or resources they weren't aware of. Maybe that fear is really seeming to hinder their life, and you want to recommend that they see a counselor when they get to campus, or you want them to talk to their summit advisor for more specifics about the courses they're taking. You might be suggesting some specific action steps, email this person, follow this Instagram account, but ultimately it's about helping them want to take an action. An advising conversation is not complete if it doesn't end in some specific actions the students can take to explore further or deal with the issue. Again, with the summer email exchanges, you may choose to stay more in the small talk zone, and that's probably okay. The action takeaway might just be, look for my next email in a week, or enjoy the last few weeks of summer and we'll talk more on campus in the fall. Given the context, that's absolutely fine. But if a student is struggling or sharing fears or concerns, it is useful to think about moving through all 3 phases of these conversations. Hey, you're worried about what classes you'll take. What kinds of classes are you most looking forward to? Have you explored Ask Agnes to see what's offered this fall? You can always talk to your summit advisor to find out if there are still seats left in chemistry or to find an alternative class. That actually takes them through all 3 phases, right? Talk to your summit advisor is a fine action step. For a lot of them, that's what they're going to need over the summer. Approaching the conversation in this way, right? Thinking about the 3 phases, thinking about kind of information gathering, taking action, building rapport. This is another NACE competency, and you can transfer it to countless career fields. NACE calls this one leadership, actually, right? The things that you're building in conversations, that just falls broadly under all of the different leadership skills. In particular, NACE says that people who display leadership have the ability to leverage the strengths of others to achieve common goals, so teamwork, and to use interpersonal skills to coach and develop others. That, of course, is more what we're doing in advising. The individual is able to assess and manage his or her emotions and those of others. Other specific leadership subskills that NACE recognizes that you are building by practicing these advising conversations includes using interpersonal skills and empathy to guide and motivate others. I'm quoting word for word from NACE here. Another one is identify creative and original solutions to problems. Another one, define and think critically about the problem. All of those are things you're doing in advising relationships. You're helping students define the problem. You're using empathy to connect with students around a problem. You're trying to come up with creative outside-of-the-box thinking. They don't need an advisor if the information is available on the website, right? So how can you help them? How can you add value? How can you come up with a creative solution? Remember that being a SPA is as much about helping students problem solve as it is about using interpersonal skills to build relationships. Both of these are core. You're problem solving and you're building relationships. If you're doing only one, you're not quite doing enough. So you really want to find a way to do both of those things. I can't wait to see the changes you're able to help our students make this summer and next fall.